Hi guys, so I bought a few books recently and I wanted to share them with you because I love watching book hauls and I've gotten them from a variety of places. So to start out, I got My Husband by Maud Ventura and I bought this at a bookstore in LA called Good Girl Books, and it's a woman-owned bookstore in Mar Vista. It's super cute and they have events and I would definitely go back there. But I've heard that this book is great if you like unlikable female main characters, and she's really obsessive. I think she's very obsessed with her husband, but I'm gonna read the back because I haven't yet. So it says, a sophisticated French woman spends her life obsessing over her perfect husband, but can their marriage survive her passionate love? At 40 years old, she has an enviable life, a successful career, stunning looks, a beautiful house in the suburbs, 2 healthy children, and most importantly, an ideal husband whose wealthy background allows her to transcend her own social class. After 15 years together, she is still besotted with him, but she's never quite sure that her passion is reciprocated. Ooh. Determined to keep their relationship perfect, she meticulously prepares for every encounter they have, always taking care to make sure her actions seem effortless. She watches him attentively, testing him to make sure that he loves her just as much as the day he did when they first met, until one day she realizes she may have gone too far. Okay. This sounds really interesting, so I'm very excited to read this because I've heard good things. Then I found Lapvona at a little free library, and this is by Otessa Moshfegh, and she wrote My Year of Rest and Relaxation, which I really liked, and then she also wrote Eileen, which I didn't like, so I'm really curious if I'm gonna like this or not. I know it's very polarizing and weird, and I think it's kind of like a period book, but it's always so nice when they have books in the little free libraries that you actually want to read. So I'm going to read the summary of this one. In a village buffeted by natural disasters, a motherless shepherd boy finds himself part of a power struggle that puts the community's faith to a savage test, in a spellbinding novel that represents Otessa Moshfegh's most exciting leap yet. Little Merrick, the abused and delusional son of the village shepherd, never knew his mother. His father told him she died in childbirth. One of Merrick's few consolations is his enduring bond with the blind village midwife, Ina, who suckled him when he was a baby, as she did many of the village's children. Ina's gifts extend beyond childcare. For some people, her ability to receive transmissions of sacred knowledge from the natural world is a godsend. Okay, so it sounds like it's supernatural. For others, Ina's home in the woods outside the village is a place to fear and to avoid, a godless place. Among the villagers is Father Barnabas, the town priest and lackey for the depraved lord and governor, William, whose hilltop manor contains a secret embarrassment of riches. The people's desperate need to believe that there are powers that be who have their best interests at heart is put to a cruel test by William and the priest, especially in this year of record drought and famine. But when fate brings Merrick into violent proximity of the Lord's family, new and occult forces arise to upset the old order. By year's end, the veil between blindness and sight, life and death, and the natural world and the spirit world will prove to be very thin indeed. Okay, I have no idea what that means, but whatever, we'll see when I read it. Then my friend Nicolette got me a gift card to bookshop.org for my birthday, and bookshop.org is such a cool website because they're very anti-Amazon. So when you order from them, you can choose an independent bookstore to support. So I chose Malik Books, which is a Black-owned bookstore in LA, and I have a referral code where you can get 20% off, so I'll put that in the description below. But one of the books I got is Yesteryear, and I'm so excited to read this. I've just heard so much about it. I've heard great things about it. A lot of people I know have recommended it to me. The author, Carol Claire Burke, I actually knew who she was before this came out because she has a podcast called Diabolical Lies, which is really good. Her and her co-host are so smart and they do so much research before it's crazy, so I would recommend that if you haven't listened to it yet. But this is about a trad wife influencer named Natalie, and that's kind of all I know. I started listening to the audiobook, and you know when you're just not feeling an audiobook, I was just like, I think I want to read this because I just like don't really like this as an audiobook. I don't know. So then I decided to order that one. And then I got Heap Earth Upon It by Chloe Michelle Howarth. And this author wrote Sunburn, which I've recommended so much on this channel. It's my favorite book that I've read so far this year. It's amazing. So I'm so excited to read more of her work. This is her newest release. And then I believe she's also coming out with another book next year. But I listened to her episode on the Barnes & Noble podcast. If you guys don't know about that, I feel like people don't know about it, but it's such a good podcast, and they do amazing interviews with famous authors that, like, if you're watching this channel, you've definitely read books by them. So I listened to her podcast about this book, and I believe it's about 4 siblings and like sibling and family dynamics. But let me read the back. In January 1965, the village of, this is an Irish name, so I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Ballycree has 4 new residents. The orphaned O'Leary siblings, Tom, Jack, Anna, and Peggy, arrive in their town under suspicious circumstances, but the O'Learys offer only a few contradictory details about their past. As they slowly settle into town, the siblings are taken under the wing of their neighbors, Betty and Bill Nevin, a wealthy couple in their 40s who have always wanted children. However, as one O'Leary sister grows close to Betty, lines are crossed and their intense relationship becomes difficult to define. All the while, the O'Learys' buried secrets keep bubbling up, threatening to ruin their new future. Gothic, lush, and suspenseful, Chloe Michelle Howarth spins a tangled web that leaves you wondering who to trust until the very last page. Okay, this sounds so interesting. I'm so excited to read this. Her writing is just incredible, so I know I'll love this. Then my thrift store had some heat, and I love buying books from the thrift store because they're like under $5, and I feel like they don't count if they're under $5. So I picked up Panchinko because I've heard amazing things about this, and I've posted this book on TikTok. Also, if you don't follow me on TikTok, I'll put it up. But I keep getting comments that this is a masterpiece and that I need to read it, but it's a bit long and I'm reading it right now, which is so long, so it'll probably take me a while to actually get to this. But I know that this is a historical fiction and I love historical fiction, so I'm excited to read it when I finally get to it. Okay, this is what it says on the back. History is seldom kind. In Minjing Li's best-selling magisterial epic, did I say that correctly? Sorry. 4 generations of a poor, proud immigrant family fight to control their destinies, exiled from a homeland they never knew. In the early 1900s, teenaged Sunja, the adored daughter of a crippled fisherman, falls for a wealthy stranger at the seashore near her home in Korea. He promises her the world, but when she discovers she is pregnant and that her lover is married, she refuses to be bought. Instead, she accepts an offer of marriage from a gentle, sickly minister passing through on his way to Japan. But her decision to abandon her home and to reject her son's powerful father sets off a dramatic saga that will echo down through the generations. Richly told and profoundly moving, Panchinko is a story of love, sacrifice, ambition, and loyalty. From the bustling street markets to the halls of Japan's finest universities to the panchinko parlors of the criminal underworld, Lee's complex and passionate characters, strong, stubborn women, devoted sisters and sons, fathers shaken by moral crisis, survive and thrive against the indifferent arc of history. Okay, so that sounds great. And then the last one I got, also from the thrift store, is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. And I recognized this author's name, and then I looked it up on Goodreads when I was at the thrift store, and it like won a Goodreads award and had amazing reviews. So I was like, okay, I'll love this. Also because it's historical fiction. So this is the summary. Cora is a slave on a cotton plantation in Georgia. Life is hell for all the slaves, but especially bad for Cora, an outcast even among her fellow Africans. She is coming into womanhood where even greater pain awaits. When Caesar, a recent arrival from Virginia, tells her about the Underground Railroad, they decide to take a terrifying risk and escape. Matters do not go as planned. Cora kills a young white boy who tries to capture her. Though they manage to find a station and head north, they are being hunted. In Whitehead's ingenious conception, the Underground Railroad is no mere metaphor. Engineers and conductors operate a secret network of tracks and tunnels beneath the southern soil. Cora and Caesar's first stop is South Carolina, in a city that initially seems like a haven. But the city's placid surface makes an insidious scheme designed for its black denizens. And even worse, Ridgway, the relentless slave catcher, is close on their heels. Forced to flee again, Cora embarks on a harrowing flight, state by state, seeking true freedom. Okay, this sounds so sad and entertaining and so good. So I will be reading this soon as well. But that's it. Those are all of the books that I bought recently. Please let me know if you've read any of these and if you recommend them or not. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Like this video if you liked it. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.